here we are, and as you can see, we are actually at opening day of next year. I made a mistake. I recorded the entire offseason, got it all done, wrapped up, went to go edit it, and my mic was muted the whole time. So we're going to have to give kind of a makeshift little summary here. We are about to hop in to what is going to be year two, but you guys don't know what happened this offseason, so let's take a look. Our reigning champs, why don't I look at that first? In the offseason, we saw, that's the wrong thing. We saw the Padres take down the Blue Jays. They dethroned the back-to-back champion Dodgers, and then won in 7 games over the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays were coming off, they're now back-to-back American League champions. Still couldn't get it done. The San Diego Padres win it. This is their team. Chris Sale was at the heart of it. And they had Manny Machado win World Series MVP. In terms of the awards, I'm pretty sure... All right, we found the awards there. It took me a little bit. American League, the award winners. George Springer went and won the MVP. Tarek Skubal got his 3rd straight Cy Young. And we actually had the Rookie of the Year, and Emmanuel Rodriguez went out and won it. It was really cool to see Rod get it done. And then Delivery Man of the Year was Fernando Cruz of the New York Yankees. That is what we had for the American League, the National League award winners. We saw Ketel Marte actually surprisingly step in and win the MVP. I thought PCA had a chance to get it, but Ketel Marte went out and took it. Logan Webb, another guy who was injured to close the season, still did enough to win the Cy Young. So Logan Webb was the Cy Young winner. Ryan Clifford won Rookie of the Year in the National League, and Mason Miller, for that dominant bullpen, got rewarded for his greatness for that team, and he won the Delivery Man of the Year. In terms of Gold Glovers, here it is quickly. Nothing too crazy in the National League other than in the American League, other than Javier Baez winning it at 3rd base. I know you can't see that it's 3rd base, but it is 3rd. Nothing too crazy for the American League Gold Glovers. In the National League, we kind of saw something similar. I mentioned a guy who I hadn't heard of, Brian Cook, who's now at AAA for the Pirates to open the year. He had a really solid year, 2 WAR. Slightly above replacement level. But he went and won himself a Gold Glove here as a 27-year-old rookie. And now he's not starting the year with the big league club for him. So there's baseball for you. In terms of the Silver Sluggers, again, nothing too crazy in the American League. We see Wyatt Langford kind of stepping into what he was expected to be. I don't know why this keeps going to OSA. But Wyatt Langford had a great year, and he won a Silver Slugger. And then in the National League, nothing too crazy here either. Mickey Moniak won it for for what he did last year in terms of winning the batting title and leading the National League in OPS. So that was interesting. We saw 2 new Hall of Fame inductees. I really wish I didn't click on the Hall of Fame because this is going to take about an hour to load. But 2 new Hall of Famers came in Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones made it in on his 10th and final year on the ballot, and Carlos Beltran I think made it in his 3rd or 4th. There were no one else that made it. Buster Posey was in his 1st year on the ballot, but he didn't make it. And then that was it for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, even though it takes about a decade for this to load, it is still a really cool screen when you get here. Something I never click on, but it is cool. There's Carlos Beltran, who's one of the guys who made it. I don't know if I care enough to scroll to go find Andrew Jones, but that is the Hall of Fame winners, the new inductees from this season. Let's take a look at the moves that we made. So let's take a look here. Oh, too far. Wrong way. So Yeah. So in November, we offered arbitration to all of these guys here. Kevin Ginkel and Tinoco, we did not offer. So Outman, Lewis, Sands, Kirkering, Walls, and Bradley were offered arbitration, and they've all got their deals, and they are back with the team. Tinoco and Ginkel have left. And then in December, we went and drafted John Schreiber. He has joined our team through the Rule 5 draft. We also didn't lose anybody in the Rule 5 draft. Schreiber was a guy who was going to come in and contend for a spot, and he played well enough in the spring. And we had some injuries that you'll see that have allowed Schreiber to be a part of the opening day roster. We signed Tyler Rogers, who that slow submariner, fun pitcher to watch. He has joined our team. He didn't pitch at all in the spring, actually. He played about one game and then had an oblique strain that sent him out. He played like a week. And then he was sent out with that. But he's a part of our team now. He was one of the signings we made. We made a trade as well, which was an interesting one. We sent Simeon Woods Richardson. He is no longer here. He pitched pretty horrifically in the Major League Club a year ago. So we were shopping around for trades, found an interesting one. We threw in Charlie Soto as well, kind of in real life a more interesting prospect on what he's developed to be in this save. Just a 42 potential guy. I would say likes him even less. So Charlie Soto and Simeon Woods Richardson head to New York, and we're bringing in Cole Ragans. Cole Ragans had an interesting year with New York. The per nines were actually really solid. We were about his fragility and this home run per nine, but he was excellent in the spring, as you guys don't know. But he was really good this spring, and he will be the opening day starter. You'll see a different injury open that up for him. But Cole Ragans is here. We're not paying this entire contract, paying just half of it. We have him don't pitch around at all, just attack because he has 5 elite pitches. So Cole Ragans was brought in. We also brought in Manny Cedeno, who was an interesting, just 18-year-old prospect throwing guy for us. So he joined the roster as well. So it doesn't say we did. Oh, yeah. So it was a pretty slow offseason for us. We didn't make too many moves. Probably because I'm going the wrong way. I think I'm going the wrong way. That can't be right. I was going the wrong way. There we go. In January, we also signed Tanner Banks, a reliever, to join our team, another vet. Unfortunately, he strained his shoulder. It's a day-to-day injury, so he could have played through it, but with an arm injury, he's 35. We're just going to throw him on the IL, which is what kind of led to Schreiber being a part of the Major League roster. So Tanner Banks will start his year on the injured list for us. We also, I don't think there's anything else that we made in terms of major deals. I don't see any on here. In terms of what kind of happened around the league, there was 2 big free agents in George Springer and Chris Sale. Chris Sale went ahead and joined the Pittsburgh Pirates, and then before the season started, tore his rotator cuff. So he signed a 2-year, $43 million a year deal, and he is now down for the whole season. So RIP Pirates fans. They also went and traded for Lawrence Butler. But, yeah. The other big free agent was George Springer, obviously the reigning American League MVP, and he signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. He'll be playing first base for him. And he signed a massive contract, 3 years, $150 million per season. So that was a pretty big one. What else happened? So we saw the Tampa Bay Rays made some trades. They went out and acquired Zach Wheeler. They the Phillies were shipping him around, and they traded him for this prospect here, Corrette. And Zach Wheeler had joined the Tampa Bay Rays. They also made a different trade to acquire Edwin Diaz So the Tampa Bay Rays were really buyers in this offseason, trading away to lower-level prospects to get Edwin Diaz. So the Rays are definitely a threat in the American League. The Red Sox went and traded for Josh Hader as well. He is injured as well, but he'll be ready for opening day. The Astros traded him away, and he's landed himself here. Former Twin also signed here, and Ryan Jeffers. He is a Red Sox. He signed a pretty long deal, 6 years, $98 million, just making $16 a year. So Ryan Jeffers has joined the Boston Red Sox. Another big free agent who signed was Yandy Diaz. He signed with the Atlanta Braves here for a pretty outstanding sum of cash here, $42 million a year. They also went and got Adrian Morajan to join their bullpen. He won a ring this year with San Diego and was absolutely excellent. They also signed Joe Jimenez, guy who was with the Marlins a year ago and was really, really good. He is going back home to Atlanta. We also saw the Cleveland Guardians went out and traded for Garrett Whitlock. Pretty big deal. The Red Sox traded him away. Cleo Watson, if you were looking at the Red Sox lineup a moment ago, was in that, and he was the main trade piece for the Guardians to go get Garrett Whitlock. So now he'll be pitching against us this season. Is another one of the guys who signed or got traded. Speaking of in-division rivals, Jacob deGrom was traded to the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers acquired him after he missed all of last season with a torn labrum. They gave up 2 lower-level prospects as well. So Jacob deGrom is also in this division. So Skubal, deGrom, 1-2 punch. That'll be absolutely devastating to face. So that was the other another big move that was made inside of our division. The St. Louis Cardinals went out and signed Nick Pivetta this offseason as well to a pretty big deal. He was one of the top guys available. An elite arm who's coming off in a ring with San Diego, was a main piece of that ball club. So Nick Pivetta also signed with the St. Louis Cardinals, making them a threat. They also went out and signed 2-time delivery man of the year, Aroldis Chapman. He leaves Boston and gets paid a good sum of money, almost $15 million a year, to join the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Toronto Blue Jays also made some additions to their roster. They tried to bolster their pitching. They went out and signed Matthew Boyd, the always good left-hander. He coming off a great year with the Cubs. The 36-year-old signed a 3-year, $35 million a year or so deal. They also went out and traded for Brian Abreu. It seems like the Astros were kind of blowing it up a bit. They sent back a whole glut of prospects, and Brian Abreu has joined the Blue Jays. They also went out and acquired David Bednar in an in-division trade with the New York Yankees. They gave up kind of a 18-year-old prospect who's got a lot of time to develop in a reliever. So David Bednar also joined this Blue Jays team as they ramp up to try and get third straight AL crown and finally maybe go and get that World Series. In terms of other things that we did in the development lab, we saw Dylan Cruz go in for generate bat speed, and it succeeded, so his power is up. We also saw his eye improve, so Dylan Cruz got a very positive update. Walker Jenkins had generate bat speed, and OOTP being OOTP, his power did not change. In terms of this his gap actually improved. This was afterwards, or this happened a while ago. Sorry, but his power did not improve, which is unfortunate. Colson Montgomery saw a positive update with his plate discipline. His eye improved from 50 to 55, which was another really nice development. We didn't see anything else improve other than Marco Raya had his pitch movement increase, and therefore his home runs allowed increased. He was on the spring training roster, but didn't end up making the big league ball club. He really struggled in the spring, and some other guys played well, so he'll probably be a first guy up kind of deal if someone gets hurt in our rotation. We went out and signed a couple international free agents, and we got the big one. Roberto Chapa was a big get for us. He was the number one available guy, and he is a part of the Minnesota Twins organization now. So Roberto Chapa is here. He was one of our signings. We also signed a pitcher, Ruben De Alba, who we need to scout. But he's kind of a long-term project, as all international free agents are. But he was available with what money we had left. Really good lefty, 2 elite pitches. So those were our 2 international free agent signings in this offseason. Let's go take a look at what the Major League Club is looking like. Andrew Painter is going to be starting the year on the IL. He had back spasms that are going to sit him down for almost the first month of the regular season. Obviously not ideal, as he's meant to be our opening day guy. But speaking of that pitching staff, we'll take a look at it. Cole Ragans has earned that job. He'll be the opening day starter, followed by Taj Bradley, Kendry Rojas, David Festa, and Jairo Iriarte. Roki Sasaki will start his second year here in Minnesota in the long relief position. Hopefully we can get something out of him. McCabe will be there with him. Our 2 lower-level mid-relief guys are Prelip and Schreiber, and then our 2 upper-level with the secondary setup role will be Cody Funderburk and Cole Sands, with the stoppers being Kirkering and Tyler Rogers. Then if we go and take a look at the lineup, catching and hitting 7th will be Sataki. Serta will be his backup. He's the guy that we got in that Arizona trade for Cody Clemens. At first base is Colson Montgomery. He'll be hitting 6th. Second, Keishel hitting leadoff. At third, Royce Lewis. At short, Taylor Walls. He'll be hitting 9th. Noah Miller's up and his backup. He'll have a chance to play a good amount. And this elite defense and elite speed, hopefully will keep him on the field, and hopefully he can hit a little bit. And the former Twins first-round pick could, finally come to be here. In left field, we have Erod, Buxton in center. Erod will be hitting 4th, Buxton 2nd, and then Dylan Cruz to round out the outfield in right. He'll be hitting 5th. And then Walker Jenkins will be the DH to open the season. This just comes because last year we saw that in right field we had a positive ZR with Dylan Cruz, whereas we did not have that for Walker Jenkins. So to start the year, Walker Jenkins will be the DH, and Dylan Cruz will play right. Austin Martin will kind of be the backup to every guy here. And then we have Outman as the backup center fielder to start the year. So that's how the roster's looking. In terms of the preseason predictions, we can dive into that quick. At the top, we see the New York Yankees and the new-look Tampa Bay Rays in the AL East. The Blue Jays obviously still going to be contending. The AL East is going to be tough this year, so I'm glad that's not a division that we find ourselves in. In our AL Central, we're only projected to finish 4 games back with a 78-84 record, so it's kind of a race to who can finish above 500. The Tigers are currently projected to be the team that does that. Guardians behind them, and then us and the White Sox. They think our bats are gonna lead us there, and our speed really, because our stolen bases are really high. It's just we gotta figure out how to pitch, and we can have a legitimate chance to make a run at this division. In the American League West, we see the Rangers and Mariners look like the 2 teams really competing. The Athletics that had a chance this past year doesn't look like they're gonna have a back-to-back good seasons, and they look to become the bottom dweller once more. In terms of the top bats, we have Aaron Judge, Nick Kurtz, Chase DeLauder, so the guy who in real life made his major league debut this postseason. He's projected to be a big bat. Langoliers, J-Rod, Caminero, Vladdy, Wyatt Langford expected to follow up his great year with another one, and I think he will. Riley Green and Bobby Witt. And then in terms of pitching, Max Fried, Nathan Eovaldi, Ranger Suarez, McClanahan, Wu, Kirby, Brown, Skubal, the new big dog in the American League pitching ranks, and Zach Wheeler, and then Grant Taylor, that really good White Sox. And then in the National League, they actually don't have anyone above a 500 record in the NL East, which I don't think makes too much sense. I think the Braves are really good. I think the Marlins can compete. I think the Phillies are going to be good too. And that's who they think are the top three. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what goes on between those three and what turns out in the NL East. The Cubs are projected to take the Central. Cardinals are expected to compete with the moves they made this offseason. Reds and Brewers are supposed to be hanging around too. So the NL Central should be pretty uber competitive. Be interesting to see what happens there. Another uber competitive division will be the NL West. The reigning champ Padres projected at the top of it. Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Giants all projected to have an above 500 winning percentage, above 500 record. And it'll be interesting to see what happens there. As the top bats, we have Juan Soto, Charlie Condon, who had a really good season a year ago. Looking to follow that up and do the same. And then Acuna, George Springer, obviously, Ohtani, Carroll, Stowers, PCA, Devers, and Bryce Eldridge, who the 22-year-old the game has a lot of high hopes for. He had a really solid year a year ago. And they think he'll follow that up with another really good year. In terms of pitching, they got Skeens, Webb, Yamamoto, Ben Brown of the Cubbies makes it here. He had a good year a year ago, so they think he'll improve again. Brandon Woodruff, Schwellenbach, Kershaw, who still hasn't retired. He actually had a great year a year ago with the Rays, and he signed a 2-year, $30 million deal here with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he's still projected to be a top pitcher in the National League despite his age. He's still balling out. So shout out Clayton Kershaw. Trevor Rogers, this is a move I forgot to mention. Trevor Rogers, the Baltimore Orioles traded him away, brought in Brock Wilken, traded him away, got an extension here, 3 years, $18 million. So Trevor Rogers is a Milwaukee Brewer now, which was a big move for them. Forgot to mention he's also projected to be a top guy, no surprise. Justin Steele, and then Hunter Dobbins is an interesting one. I mean, his ratings aren't like fantastic, but he was actually the first overall pick in the Rule 5 draft, and now he's projected to be, a top 10 pitcher here in the National League. So it's interesting to see. Let's take a look at the top prospects, and then I think that's all I have for you guys today to raise us. Still here, still looking to be a dog for the Rangers, followed by Fernandez for Washington. Just an elite bat. Andriani for the Yankees, again, elite power guy. Ethan Holiday, who for some reason saw some time in the major leagues this year, even though being a 34 overall. Still the number 4 prospect. Starts the year at AAA. Probably a good move, knowing that he shouldn't be up in the majors. That De Jesus guy, who we saw, he was traded in that Zach McKinstry deal, which is just ridiculous. Zach McKinstry didn't do anything either. That's a big get. Rohingya, who looks like a dog, also shares my birthday. So shout out Francisco Rohingya. He's got to be a dog after that. We added him to our keep an eye on short list because this looks ridiculous. And also he's got a great birthday. Me, Rohingya, LeBron, Tiger Woods. Are you guys noticing a trend? Just a couple of dogs. In terms of the best systems, Ben Blair's our top prospect. He's the 13th in baseball. We're excited to see him develop this season. He's followed by Chapa, who was the big international free agent. Zaire Hope, who was the top guy we got in the Pablo Lopez trade. Started his year at AA. And Riley Quick are the ranked guys. He was the first-round pick in real life this year for the Minnesota Twins out of Alabama. So those are our top 4 guys in our 8th-ranked farm. I think I wonder where Liam Peterson found himself. He's the 161st ranked guy, but he is probably better than the other guys we listed. So that's interesting. We still are dumping a crap ton of money into player development, a lot of money into scouting as we come in with a $66 million payroll. I really do think this team has a chance to compete. We just have to find a way to pitch, and our bats need to perform like they're projected to. But that was the offseason. I'll obviously hope to keep my mic unmuted for the following videos I record, so you guys can kind of get the live reaction and get a bit more in-depth look at everything that we did. But we're ready to head into the 2027 season, ready to head into year 2 here, and thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.